All right, so what I want to start with is my tree. All right, then it will all become apparent as we go on. I think of a dancer as a tree. Okay. Now, to be a long-lasting, ever living tree, we've got to have really good roots. Yeah. So those roots is our footwork. Yeah. So if we've got good footwork, but I'll come back to my tree. All right. So we've got the roots of the tree encompasses the growth of the trunk. So that would be from your ankles right the way up to your legs and your torso. So that, and it depends on how high your tree grows. If you're 6 foot, that's going to be your 6 foot tree. You might be a little 5 foot tree. You might be a 5'5". That's just up to him up there. It's how tall we grow. Yeah, but those roots support the trunk. Okay. Now it could be a very tiny tree. It could be like an oak tree, which is a wide tree. Yeah. So and from little acorns, oak trees grow. Yeah, and they last for hundreds of years, which is what we want to do. Last for hundreds of years, so that in time to come, now that we've got this, we can think of ourselves as a tree. All right, not in any other way. I don't, you know, not in anything too abstract. All right, it'll all become clear in a moment, I promise you. Now, so from the tree we grow branches. Yeah, so your arms are the branches. Yeah. And on the branches there are leaves, and so you've got your hands. Yeah. And then the trunks might move a little. Sometimes it doesn't. But your arms are your branches, and your hands are the expressiveness of the tree. I've got some outside. It's quite windy where I am today, and I can see them moving. Sometimes they move quickly. Sometimes they just go in a breeze like this. Sometimes they don't do anything when there's no wind. And in the autumn or the fall, the leaves come down. Yeah, and then there's regrowth. Yeah. So is this all making sense? Good. All right. And when the sun shines on the tree, there's our expression. Yeah, the tree loves sun and the tree loves rain. Yeah, so that's my analogy of a dancer. Yes. So now I'm going to ask, why do we do tondus? Why do we do foot exercises? Okay. And the reason is they are the foundation. They're the roots, and if you get a good foundation of anything technical, then from that technique you then develop into your expressiveness, your artistry, but you've got to get that technique. Yeah, so that is why even at primary, when we're doing the warm-up exercise, those little runs have got to be light and airy and on their toes. Yes, now if you think of a really windy day, and it's in the fall, it's in autumn, and you when you look at leaves being gathered up and they just move, don't they? Well, if you use that analogy in that primary warm-up, imagine that they're being lifted up by the wind, and then you get this lovely light little footwork. There's nothing worse than seeing children lumbering around on flat feet when they're walking. It isn't elegant, and we can get little children, and these are gorgeous little things, you know, really running on their toes, and they're as light as a feather, And sometimes you see them lumbering on flat feet and they're as heavy as anything. And it's like, oh, that's a shame. Oh, that's a real shame. Hey, anyway. All right, then we do the pond, yes. So they're learning to hopefully really stretch that leg, really stretch that foot. And then we as teachers can clock and go, wow. Because some children have the most amazing legs and feet, don't they? And some children don't yet, but they will do. All right, but those ones who naturally do it, you clock that and you think, oh, yeah, there. So there's your pond, yeah, it's there. And then whenever they're doing, when we're thinking of skipping and galloping, natural movements that we all do, that children do, they know how to skip and gallop before they even come to a dancing class. But those skips have got to go through the feet. Yeah, they can't be flat. If they're flat, there's no articulation. Yeah. The gallops as well, grade 1 gallop, the number of times that I've seen children lumbering around heel lead, and then that affects the rest of the body. So if you're thinking of the footwork in galloping and skipping and jumping and getting that that lovely use of the foot, yeah, I don't know if you can see my hand, I'm doing that, yeah, even at primary and grade 1 level. Yeah, so that is why we do footwork. Then of course it goes on and on and on.